Buffy's making a new friend. A grown-up friend.
What, you mean the guy you invited to set her up with?
Nothing.
It's not like I don't understand why you invited him. I was there, remember? I can hear you when I'm in the room, you know? I do understand these things.
Yes, you do.
You know I'm in high school, right?
Yes, you are.
Welcome to episode 115 of Revisiting Sunnydale. I'm Camila.
I'm Marcella. This never ends. It never ends.
Just one.
How are you sleeping?
I don't know. It changes like from night to night. Sometimes, like for the last couple nights, I had been like getting up at like 3, just like waking up at 3, just like that.
Mm-hmm. Fully awake.
Right. Like why?
Fully awake.
Why? Mm-hmm. There's nothing happening. Nobody needs me at 3 a.m.
Right? I think my brain just won't shut off.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot
So like
of that.
last night I woke up at 3 a.m. and I thought, okay, I'm going to put a movie on my phone to listen to.
Mm.
And after scrolling through Disney Plus, I settled on Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion. I was like, this is soft ice cream. I will absolutely put that on to close my eyes and drift off too.
Right.
Why'd I lay there and listen to the whole movie and fell asleep 10 minutes before it was over?
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
And just listen
and then I woke up 10 minutes after that, I think, and was like, well, now I got to watch the last 10 minutes. And then I never did go back to sleep.
The worst is like when I have a tendency to put in a movie when it's way too late when I shouldn't be. And then I fall asleep within like the first 20 minutes or so. And then I wake up like right before the credits end, like right before it's over, just enough to like spoilers. Yeah, exactly. Just enough to see the end. It's like, well, come on. Like I did want to come back to this.
Your brain is a dick.
Right. It's like, hey, wake up now. What? He was the killer.
That sucks. That does suck. I started putting them on my phone because then it's not bright enough to wake me up.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it's because I have my phone on the little wireless charging pad and it just, you know, it's not bright. It doesn't brighten up the room.
Right.
And then I can just fall back asleep. But I haven't been falling back asleep.
It's rough, man, when you don't have anything really like breaking up your day and you're not really like going anywhere. And like, I think that's part of the problem of being able to like settle down and shut it down for the night. It's like, well, and then you're like, oh, what? Or then you get into this thing of what is today? What is tomorrow? Do I have anything to do tomorrow? Of course you don't have anything really to do tomorrow.
Right.
Like,
did I get paid this week? Did I get paid last week? Has it been a week? What day is it? It's like wake up, work, video game, sleep. I've never felt more like a dog in my whole life. And I'm done. And I need to stay off of Facebook at 3 a.m. because I start watching videos and then I get mad and then I get sad and then I get mad. And then I'm not going back to sleep because now my conscience is all fucked up.
Right, yeah. Stay away from the videos about anything that's happening.
Oh, but the Dodo has such good videos about dogs, but they hit you, and animals, but they just hit you in like the worst place.
Aw. Yeah, they do have
You're just
good
like,
ones.
oh.
Well, other than all of that, trouble sleeping and whatnot, there's many ways you can keep up with us. We're Facebook, Revisiting Sunnydale, on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale, on Instagram at RVS_podcast, or you can just go to the website, revisitingsunnydale.com. And as always, you can rate and follow and review us. Reviews would be splendiferous.
We love reviews.
On Apple Podcasts, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Player FM. So it's not too many hot topics other than, you know, that fucking song.
No, but go ahead and say that. Because I saw this in the trades today and I was like, hey, that's the girl from American Horror Story. I really like Sarah Paulson.
Right.
How does that? I can't say that word.
I think it's ratcheted.
My mouth won't say it.
Ratchet? I don't know if it's Ratchet because it's probably ratcheted is what it's supposed to be because it's Nurse Ratchet.
So, and see, doesn't that just sound not right?
Yeah, it sounds really weird. Like, I don't know why we couldn't just call it Ratchet. Like, you know,
it's one of those things that gives me severe social anxiety at the movies. Like when you have to go up to the theater and you're like,
right. What two for Ex Machina, please? So, so Netflix is coming out with this movie or I don't recall if it was a movie or a series starring Sarah Paulson about the beginnings, like the backstory of Nurse Ratchet from One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
which I've never seen.
Oh wow! I mean, but you know the story of like know like the
she's an awful terrible person.
The pop culture reference of her.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm not sure anybody was really clamoring for a show or an origin story,
right?
But...
Which is like it's just like weird, but again, like if anybody was gonna do it, Ryan Murphy. That makes sense.
Yeah,
like
I just feel like in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, she was like early 30s. So what is this, like 10 years before that? Like that's not really an origin story to me.
Yeah,
I don't need to know your early 20s. Like that's just a flashback episode.
But I don't know, like the trailer looks really good. It's coming on Netflix on September 18th, I believe. And it's just got like this, like a slew of like the normal like cast of characters. You'll see a bunch of familiar faces from American Horror Story and like many other Ryan Murphy productions and stuff. But the trailer is great.
Sadly, I think they should all be in bubbles and protecting themselves. I think either Ryan Murphy or Glee, one of them is cursed.
Well, I don't know. Like it can't be like Ryan Murphy. The curse hasn't spilled over to his other shows.
American Horror Story just yet.
Or like, and if that happens, I would really like everybody to just go ahead and form a circle around Angela Bassett.
Right? Although I've seen those guns, her arms. I think she can handle her damn self.
Yes. So
and now you've got another love coming up,
but I can't
not
remember
for a long, long time.
Yeah, I know. So I can't remember if it was because, like I said, I saw a bunch of people in this trailer, and if it was Vincent, yes, Vincent D'Onofrio is in Ratchet, which is like, I love anything that like anytime we get to see Vincent on screen, and also Corey Stoll. Which I am starting to like really
I have such an odd crush on that.
Me too. Like this has just started. Like I just saw
I don't like it. It makes me feel gross inside.
Like I just saw him and I just watched Dark Places and he was in that and it just hit me all of a sudden. I'm like, I think I really like this man. Like this.
He was in Ant-Man.
Yeah. Like he makes me feel feelings.
Mm-hmm. He's got quite the bio. You guys should look him up. He's been in weird things, and at one point in time, I think he had hair, and it didn't work as well.
Yeah, he was in that The Strain. Was it that TV show? And I think he had hair in that. I think I tried a couple episodes and never finished watching it.
You know why I never tried that show? This is marketing at its worst. I have a problem with things going into an eyeball. And the poster for that show was something going into the direct center of someone's eye.
Right.
And it always just made me go, and so I was like, if this is what this show is about, I don't want to see things going in people's eyeballs. No.
Yeah, I never got into it. But yeah, so I would
yes, we find him delightful.
Which odd. Just odd, random. Like I don't understand.
Totally random.
Maybe it's just like we have crossed that threshold in our age. Like that, like he is the marker for that. Like because
old dudes are starting to look
right, exactly. Like old bald dudes are starting to look like hot to us. Because I mean, like 5 years ago, and I'd be like, whatever. But now, I'm 44, and so I mean, I guess that's the jump off right there. It's like that's it, and like that's the question. Do you find Corey Stoll attractive? And that's like, are you older? Like this, you have now crossed over to middle age.
And I don't really get the whole Timothy Chalamet love.
Who?
So I may have aged out. The kid that was in that Call Me by Your Name and like he's pretty.
Yeah.
But I don't get the thirst for his pretty.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I may have aged out. Like he is too young.
Right. There's like there's a lot of that too happening. Like where you see all these young actors popping up in pop culture and like, and everyone's like, ooh, he's so blah blah blah. I'm like, I can tell that he's attractive, but he just looks like a baby. I don't want anything.
I think the cutoff there was Nick Jonas. That's like Nick Jonas,
and that was like barely. That was it's like really cutting it close. And like even at that point, like I said, like I didn't feel comfortable lusting after Michael B. Jordan until he was a smooth 30. I was like, okay, you're 30,
right?
So.
When it's no longer a social crime.
Right. You are a 30-year-old man. Let's do this.
So Timothy Chalamet, I'll see you when you're 30.
Right. We'll see how that plays out for you, friend. We'll see how you grow into 30. But speaking of Timothy's, and the other show that I'm excited about is a new season 4 of Fargo, which doesn't come out till April. Which I don't know why they're telling me about it now, but I did like
it. Show.
The first 2 seasons were really good. The third one, I don't think I ever finished. It was kind of weird, and I don't remember who. I don't think it wasn't Ethan Hawke. I think it was I forget who it was, but he was playing twins. Maybe it was what's Ewan McGregor? I think it was Ewan McGregor.
Cool.
And it didn't stick with me, so I never finished it, and I just never, it wasn't my thing. But the first 2 seasons were really good, and they're all separate on themselves. So like you could watch a couple seasons,
any season, and not care.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen the movie.
I think the first one might have many more nods to the movie.
Okay. Then it kind of shifts itself away.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably like a couple nods here or there. But this new season has Timothy Olyphant.
Which, yum.
Yeah. Like his name.
And then Chris Rock wearing like a fedora? Was it? What kind of hat did he have on in the picture? A
bowler? A fedora?
A bowler?
Or something. I think it's set in the 40s.
Okay, I was going to say, because I saw the headline Fargo and saw the picture of Chris Rock, and I was like, why is he dressed like that?
Right.
I didn't realize that the whole season was going to be set in the 40s. I just thought he was dressed like that.
Right. No, it's a period piece. And
okay.
He in the trailer, like he looks like he's doing some pretty good acting. Like I was surprised at like to see what he was bringing to the table, because I was expecting, Chris Rock, but it's your experience with CB. CB4.
CB4 is still so fresh in your memory.
Exactly. I was just like, because I saw this. All I saw was the picture at first. It was like Fargo, and then it's Chris Rock there. I'm like, why? And then the next name is Timothy Olyphant. I'm like, oh, hello, hi, great. And then I watched the trailer. I'm like, this is like a 2-minute trailer. Timothy doesn't show up in the trailer till like minute 145.
Rude.
Like I don't hello, this isn't why I'm here. But it also looks like it's like a really good cast of characters in that one. In that film too. So I would like totally.
Well, we're all going to be content deprived.
Yeah.
Come fall, so I'm willing to give anything a try.
So April. Wow, why with April?
Maybe I got a lot of seasons to catch up on, so it might take me until April, and then I can just roll right into the new season.
Right, exactly.
Which I did with Game of Thrones. I had to consume 5 seasons before the 6th season came out.
Oh, wow.
That was fun, though.
Did you finish it? Yeah, it is. It is good to watch them back to back. Like
it really is. It makes much more sense when you watch it back to back.
Because there was like, if before when I just watched it when it was on and when it was airing, if somebody would have asked me like, could you give me a blueprint on like what? I'm like, I don't know. Some people are.
The lady that flies the dragons did something.
Right,
for the longest time, I had no idea who anybody's name was. I couldn't pronounce them, so I couldn't say them or retain them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Still, half of the characters, if you ask me in conversation, I don't know who you're talking about.
No. But I could probably, but after binge watching all of them together, I could give you a pretty good rundown of like what happens.
With like 5 main characters.
Right, exactly, because a lot happens.
We still got, when we were in that finale and they were all in that area talking about who was going to take over, they panned over and I'm like, who's that kid? Not Bran,
right? But
the other kid. I'm like, who is that kid? Seriously, who is this kid? And then I think someone online was like, oh, that was Robin of the Area. And I'm like, who is that? And then somebody else online was like, the kid that breastfed from. Right. I'm like, oh,
yeah, because
that crazy little bastard.
Yeah, because he grew up like he had a growth spurt and was like 18 all of a sudden. I was like, okay,
slammed up. But that's how little. Like I'm like, I have no idea who that even is. But you have to tell me one fact. And breastfeeding from his mom till he was about 12 was it?
That's a pretty big fact. Like that's pretty much all that character was about.
Yeah, being crazy and wanting to watch the tiny man fly.
Right.
But the last pop culture thing I have is, have you heard the news about Mulan?
Have you heard the news? No, I keep seeing these random whispers about like Mulan has been popping up on Twitter, but
so they've decided that Disney Plus will release Mulan sometime in September.
This is the live action? Yeah,
the live action Mulan, and it will be an additional fee to get it of $29.99.
How dare you?
They're going to skip their theatrical release. I don't know. Now, the only thing I don't know, because they messed it up on the Today Show this morning. They told us one thing and then went to commercial and then came back and said, we said that wrong. But then I didn't hear the correction. So I don't know if it's a 24-hour rental or if you get to keep it forever or if it expires after a certain time. Right. I have no idea.
If you get to keep it forever, sure, great. But like $30 for a 24-hour rental?
It better be 4K.
Right.
It better be Movies Anywhere so I can watch it on any platform.
And that's pretty much like, that's only really good for folks that've got like at least 5 people in the house to make it worthwhile.
Right.
Because like, yeah, if we had gone to the theater, it would have been much more than this if all 5 of us had gone.
Right. But, now, there are certain things like Star Wars. You could tell me it was $59.99. If the only way I can watch it is at home, I'm going to give you $59.99.
Wow.
Like, there's just certain franchises. It doesn't matter. Take my money. Shut up and take my money.
Wow.
But it brought me to, Raven and I were talking about, these theaters are pissing their pants in this pandemic era. What are we going to do? Well, you need to figure it out. I don't understand why these theater chains can't come up with an app. You go to the AMC app.
Right.
You go through a really cute, stupid animation walking through like a red carpet where a curtain opens and there's a giant screen that has all of the newest movies. You click on it, you buy it, you're done.
Right.
The only problem I foresee with that is, who needs AMC? Who needs Carmike? Who needs Cinemark when the studios could do it themselves?
Right. Exactly.
So either get on it now.
Right.
And figure it out.
Before the studios are like, hey,
you know what?
You know what we could be doing? Like,
which is what Disney's doing with Mulan.
Right. Right.
By putting it on Disney Plus, they're essentially skipping.
Just cut out the middleman. Like, who gives it? Like, you at this point, like, nobody. Like, what's the point, really?
Something's got to change, and it's got to change fast.
Because it's just getting. I don't know. It's all tiring. It's all so draining on my soul.
Yes, and because people don't want to be smart and think and do what they're told, we are probably headed. We're in August right now. We are probably headed for another lockdown.
Yeah, especially once school gets started back. Like, I'm trying to get the kids back in the actual schools. Like, y'all are crazy.
And I just saw a news report of a high school that opened. The hall was packed. They were shoulder to shoulder, half wearing masks, half not. And right away, one kid in the class in a different school, I think it was second grade, one kid tested positive. Now the whole class has to
I think I heard
quarantine
that
at home.
Like in Indiana or something. Because I was, first of all, I was like, their school started back already? It's barely August. Like, you poor babies.
Poor bastards. But yeah, now those kids have to quarantine. But then, like, my whole thing is, how many people did that second grader walk past in the halls? It's not just the kids in her class.
Right.
Like, it's everyone in that school, everyone on that bus.
Right. She used the bathroom.
Those people went home after that.
Right. Which when at her bathroom she used, or like lunchtime, because like second graders aren't known for being clean and tidy. Right. Probably shared some food with like several different kids, drinks and
But we're headed. I can see it. We're probably headed for another lockdown.
Yeah. So,
And speaking of lockdowns,
oh my goodness, great segue. Season 6, episode 14, Older and Far Away. I believe last episode I called it Older and Farther Away. Not true. Original air date February 12th, 2002. Written by Drew Z. Greenberg. Directed by Michael Gershman, whoever that is. After Dawn talks to a new school counselor about her feeling lonely, she accidentally puts a spell on Buffy and her friends, trapping them inside the Summers house with a sword-wielding demon. Amber Benson is Tara McClay, still not a series regular. James,
what's up with that?
Shame on them. Shame. James Leary is Clem, Callie Roca as Halfrick, Ryan Browning as Richard, and Laura Roth as Sophie.
So many randos in this episode.
It is. I don't understand why any of them thought it was a good idea to invite outsiders to anything in Summer's house on Buffy's birthday anyway. You know? Like,
yeah.
Like, why? Like, Buffy, we get it. You want to prove that you can make new friends. I invited Sophie. All right, whoever the hell Sophie is.
Right? We've never seen her before.
And never see her again. Which, understandably so. Like, this is a rough.
Understandably.
This was a rough night.
Mm-hmm. It was real hard for her.
when she came there, all she thought the worst she would have to deal with was like maybe there's peanuts in the cake.
Right. With her damn nut allergy. The previously on seriously digs deep. It's like, remember this person? Remember this person? Remember this person? They're all in this episode today.
Oh, right. Thanks. Didn't
we just talk about that last week? I get it. All right.
So when we show up at the Summers house, Buffy is packing up her bags because apparently she has an emergency slaying that she has to do. Like, somebody called her and told her there was something that needs to be slayed because there's no one there. I have no idea
how she knew about this demon at all.
No one there when she goes.
No. It's not like there was some chaos.
Right.
I don't know what happened to that beeper she had in high school, but nobody hit her up on it.
No. And so, she's missing out. That's a lovely jacket Buffy's wearing.
It is.
But why don't we ever see it again? It's a really cute jacket. And so I guess she's skipping out on dinner. What was supposed to be like a nice dinner with Dawn. And Dawn is all, woe is me. And I have a problem. Like, Dawn is wearing a Foxy Brown t-shirt. And
why?
I have a problem on several different levels. First of all, she's 15, 16?
Mm-hmm.
Second, does she even know who Foxy Brown and or Pam Grier is?
Was there a resurgence of Foxy Brown at this time? Whose t-shirt is that?
I have no idea. Unless
was this when Hot Topic was just throwing pop culture references on everything?
Probably. Just okay, we got to dig deep. What were the popular movies and icons in the 70s? Throw it on a shirt.
Put some glitter and throw it on a shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I have a problem with Buffy's hat.
Yeah, unnecessary.
I like the coat, but this hat severely limits, and I'm only thinking of it from a Slayer standpoint.
Right. Why would she wear that slaying?
Right. She can't even see.
No.
It's way down over her eyes.
It's like bucket hat, not good for slaying.
No. This demon, oof. Oh, this demon. The makeup, this is rough. This is a shitty looking demon. I don't know what they spent their money on this week, but it was not this demon's makeup.
No. And yeah, it was like, you know what? He's not going to play a major role, but he's not going to be on screen a lot. So we don't really have to, we can bring the budget down a little bit for the demon. So Buffy fights him and he's doing this disappearing act. Poof, poof, here or there, or going morphing into water or something. Finally, he's got this cool sword. She goes to stab him with the sword, and then he disappears. She's like, "Oh my god, he ran away!" But cool sword, so she takes his sword back. But we see that the demon is actually in the sword. Dun dun dun.
This is why we need Giles,
right?
Because she would have immediately, instead of going home and just sitting it up against the wall, she would have taken it to Giles to research.
Right.
But no. I don't get this demon at all. We don't even find out this demon's name. It's like they just threw it in as a afterthought, a foil for what happens at the party.
Yeah, just a reason to, yeah. So at the magic box, the gang are sort of planning Buffy's birthday party. It's Buffy's birthday, which, okay. And Dawn comes in and she's all like, hey, I'm going to go do some birthday shopping for Buffy. You want to come with to the mall? And everybody has adult responsibilities, so they can't go. And I'm questioning why Dawn wasn't just going somewhere with Janice, because didn't she just go to her house last week?
Yeah,
for
she
dinner?
was.
So
maybe they had a falling out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
As teenagers,
Xander's got some anxiety about, while they're planning this party, he's got a little bit of anxiety about Tara because he doesn't know if Willow wants Tara at the party, but Buffy really wants her there.
Right.
And on one hand, does that make Buffy a bad friend?
Right? Because, Buffy should have been having this conversation with Willow. Like, look, I would really like Tara to be at my party. Is that going to be weird for you?
Right. Which then Willow would have been like, I can tell that you really want her there, so I guess it'll just be awkward for me.
Right. Yeah, it's your birthday. That's fine.
But she really shouldn't have left it up to Xander to awkwardly ask.
No.
But this poor baby just wants to hang out with someone, and everyone shrugs her off.
So she goes to the mall alone and comes back home with pockets full of stolen goods and a very stolen leather jacket. Which, were you going to do the shoplifting if the adults had come with you?
No. No, she was feeling like shit. Needed to get a high. So she stole some shit. And guess what? It didn't make her feel better.
No. So she puts it with all of her other stolen junk.
Which is quite a lot.
Yeah. She's been at this for a while.
For some time. I like her coat too.
The leather one or the one she had on?
No, the one she had on.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like a nice little pea coat or something. Yeah, it's a nice coat.
Next day at school, Dawn gets called down to the guidance office, the guidance counselor's office. And I mean, everybody knows it's Halfrick, yeah. Like, we all know this. Yeah. Even though I don't think we've ever really seen her non-demon face, right?
No, if anything, it was like, Cecily?
Right.
What are you doing there? We're not dumb. We are Buffy fans. You can't fool us.
So she's talking to Dawn and, she's like, oh, you've been having some problems. Your grades have been slipping. You seem distracted. Well, her mom just died. Hasn't been a year yet.
Right.
So maybe you want to cut her some slack and maybe that's why she's feeling some kind of way. And
I hate the way she talks to her. That with the head,
the active listening,
tilted to the side.
Yeah. Oh, and it's been a rough time for a long time, hasn't it? I know, there's been a lot.
I did the same thing with Anya with the.
Yeah, I love it. I do enjoy that when Halfrick has a little. Halfrick is a fun character.
She is a fun character, and I like Kelly Roca as a actress too. She popped up on Grey's Anatomy after Buffy, and I was like, "Hey, it's Halfrick."
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So I'm wondering how long did she just pop in today as the guidance counselor, right? And how come no other the actual guidance counselors are like, may I help you?
Right. Because Anya showed up as a student, so she just came at the beginning of did she come at the beginning of the year or just show up right when Cordelia needed her?
I think she just showed up right when Cordelia. No, it was the beginning of the year because it was right. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it was right when Cordelia needed her.
It was right when Cordy got out of the hospital and stuff. Mm-hmm. And
that was the first time we met her.
Brand new you.
So maybe Halfrick just senses children in pain. Right. So she just sensed Dawn's pain, showed up that day, I guess.
Oh, yeah. And so
or when she came to see Anya.
Right.
She was like, what's that? Well, I smell a child in pain. So she's maybe been there, let's say, 2 weeks.
Right.
Tops.
Okay. Sure. Like learning okay.
Yeah.
So, in the midst of all this talking, like while they're all chit-chatting, Dawn just inadvertently is like, I just wish people would stop going away.
And right away, as fans, we're like, oh, damn.
Damn
you
it,
did not
Dawn.
just say that to somebody you don't know.
But again, like, they say that before. Like, I mean, I guess knowing who Anya was and what Anya was, that's something that would be common knowledge. But Dawn, she has no common sense when it comes to these things. She let herself get tucked away with the the vampires, and it's just like whatever, dude.
She's a doof, for sure. But so of course, yuck, gross. She's now made this wish, and we'll see how it comes to fruition. But Xander and Anya and Buffy are setting up for the party, and Buffy's telling them, it's just going to be Buffy, Willow, the two of them, Dawn, Sophie from work. And Anya is rightfully like, who's this person?
who's Sophie? And Buffy gets a little defensive. Is like, I can make new friends. I have new friends. And Anya's like, well, what's her last name? She's so important. And Buffy can't come up with that.
Nope. To be fair, how would she have known it unless Sophie told her?
Right.
She's her work friend.
Right. And then she wears a name tag with her
that
first
just
name.
Says Sophie.
Right. With just her first name on it.
Her locker probably just has her first name on it.
Right.
Unless she saw her time card or she introduced herself as Sophie so-and-so, how would Buffy know her last name?
Right.
It's not like she gets emails from her like we do with coworkers.
Right. Not even text messages. So.
Right. So it turns out that they have invited someone as well.
Yeah, they have invited a work friend of Xander's, Richard. They want to set Buffy up with Richard because he's a nice, normal, regular Joe. And
yep.
They think Buffy
no, thank
needs
you.
that.
Not on my birthday. This is my birthday. You don't do that to somebody. You don't just thrust someone in my house that I don't know.
Right. Now
like,
it's an awkward blind
I invited
date.
Sophie.
Right. Now it's a blind date on my birthday in my house. This isn't cool.
Now I have to worry about what I look like, what outfit I'm wearing, what my face looks like. You guys suck. Tara gets there, and there is a very adorable, awkward exchange between her and Willow.
Yeah. Willow was like moments ago worried, like fussing over her outfit to make sure and her appearance, and she gets down and they're all ooh, hey, ooh.
Exactly. That's exactly how it went.
And then they disperse, and Tara goes in the kitchen and gets a drink because that was unsettled. That was a lot. It took a lot out of her. And once she gets there, Richard shows up, as what does Spike and Clem. Spike brings a guest too. Like, people, like, first of all, Spike, you weren't really invited.
You weren't invited, and Buffy had just gotten done telling Tara a couple minutes earlier that he wasn't coming.
Right. And then
because she asked her how she was feeling, and she was doing better from what they talked about the week before, and she said, upsy downsy. But no, he was not coming. And then there he is.
Like, hello, and with another uninvited guest, and just a six-pack.
Which now here is this rando Richard who has arrived, who gets to look at Clem, and he's like, what the fuck? And Buffy proceeds to tell him that it is a skin condition. Richard,
there is no piece of ass worth that. At that moment, you should have seen. You see this? No, this isn't right. Your human eyeballs told you that this was not the correct. This isn't something. This isn't a normal situation. You should have just gone and left at that point. Got back in your car and gone home.
Yeah. Now, one thing I did question in my mind was, I don't know the length of time between the last episode and this episode, because Spike still has a black eye.
Right.
So the last we saw Spike, Buffy had beaten the shit out of him in the alley outside of the police station. But now the only remnants of that beating is this black eye. So it's been at least some bit of time.
I mean, but he's a vampire. He should have been healing quickly. So it can't,
yeah,
I would say a week.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, why didn't you heal? Like, even his eyes still all puffy. Like,
It's puppy.
how is she just not like, oh, I did that to you?
All right.
Oh,
it's
I
like
did that
all
to you.
puffy and slacky and like lazy and stuff. Like it's weird.
Yes. And yet he's being so flirty at every opportunity he
So
has.
flirty and jealous and teasing and just it's like,
And he
oh,
really
Richard.
doesn't like Richard.
No, he's not here for it. Dawn's getting super excited about Buffy opening some gifts, and Anya and Xander are saying that Buffy's off making new friends, making adult friends. And this is where my burn of the week comes in. And Dawn's like, yeah, you invited Richard to hook up with Buffy, and Anya's like playing, yes, sure, whatever. And Dawn's like, I can hear you when I'm in the room. I do understand these things. And Anya pats her on the head and says, yes, you do.
And then it even continues on. And she's like, I'm in high school, right?
Right.
And Anya's like, yes, you are. What the fuck?
It's like,
This
wow,
poor baby.
wow, thanks. Zero respect. Thanks. Thank you.
Right? Like, by the time they were the age she is now, they were killing demons weekly.
Yes.
Why did they treat her like such a child?
Right. And I'm pretty sure wasn't Xander having like a lot of sex with Cordelia by this point too?
I believe so. Well,
Maybe the next year.
I don't know that they actually had sex. Because he lost his
Sure.
virginity to Faith.
Oh. So they just did a lot of heavy making out.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yep. So Buffy does eventually open up her presents, and she really likes the jacket that Dawn got her.
Dawn stole.
She sees there's a security tag still on it.
But here's the question.
Dawn makes an excuse.
But here's the thing. Dawn doesn't have a job and she's not getting an allowance. So why would you think how would she be able to afford that jacket? Even
Right?
if it's pleather, like it would still have been like $40. Like
At least.
where's Dawn getting money?
Exactly. Where is she getting money? Because as far as I know, she only has some Double Meat Palace money coming into the house.
Right.
I don't know if she gives Dawn an allowance.
Doubtful. So
Doubtful.
Dawn is like really excited and super stoked to give her this gift, and she's like so proud of herself even, and she's happy that Buffy's just like, oh, I love it, it's great. But then fucking Xander and Anya come steal Dawn's thunder and roll out this handmade weapons chest.
Beautiful chest.
Which
It's so pretty.
They call it a weapons chest in front of Richard. Yeah?
Right.
Okay.
I think they say something about it being to hide all your. I'm not sure if he calls it a weapons chest. I forget. Because he doesn't say to hide all your weapons.
Gotcha.
But we did forget about how great of a cockblock Tara is being.
Oh, she's amazing. She's doing great. While Spike is being all, ooh, Richard, and being all flirty dirty with Buffy.
Because Willow got her a back massager for all her little aches and pains. And Spike makes some kind of comment about that.
I think he just like cocks his eyebrow towards her.
Yes. And something about a kink he has or something. And Tara steps right in. She's like telling him he may want to work on that himself.
Well, yeah, like he catches Buffy in the hallway at some point, and he's trying to put Buffy's
she
hand.
stops him there too.
Trying to put Buffy's hand on his area, on his special place. She's like, not today, Spike. Not today.
Not today. You're creeping up on sex offender territory.
Oh, right.
Back up a little bit. So then Sophie shows up finally during presents, and her and Clem seem to hit it off like right away.
Right. And Sophie's
She hasn't I don't think they tell her it's a skin condition.
I don't think so.
But she works at the Double Meat, so she's probably seen a lot.
She's probably seen some stuff. And her mom dropped her off and told her to say thank you right away. And she also has all of these allergies. That's super cool. Great. Glad you could make it.
She's so awkward. She's so awkward. I can't even begin. Why is it that every Buffy birthday, when Dawn gives her a present, it like brings the whole party down for a minute? Like everybody gets so sad. Oh no, Xander does. I went back to look and see. He does say it holds all your basic weapons and some non-basic ones too. While Richard is standing right behind him, looking super confused.
Yeah,
super confused.
Yeah.
But the party just continues on, and everybody starts just hanging out. This is the longest birthday party.
I know. Dawn is like,
I don't know why it's still going on.
Dawn has this look like, oh, this is great. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that everybody's here hanging out together. And, they're all like playing poker and Monopoly. And there's a mention of like Monopoly. We've been playing it for three hours, which, I mean, come on now. That's a normal game of Monopoly.
Yeah, that's just a standard game of Monopoly. Come on, son.
And Dawn suggests a slumber party, which... Sure. Okay. And everyone's
why not?
Yeah. Everyone's like, cool. Yeah, let's do that. But there's also like these things where they run out of beer and people want to go on a beer run, but nobody's actually going on a beer run. Okay. That's weird. Like maybe everyone's just tired or already drunk. Let's find out what that's about.
Mm-hmm. But it's not until it becomes daylight that Richard's like, dude, I have to go to work.
Right.
Like no one seems tired.
No, like
they're
so y'all have been awake all this time. Like I understand. Okay,
right.
You're trapped. You can't go anywhere. But did you need to be awake this whole time?
Right. And there's an awful lot of sunlight coming into that room. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, and Spike is damn near
Spike's just hanging out playing cards with Buffy.
He's like just kind of sitting there right in the sunlight. And I
think Willow and Tara are asleep on the couch.
I think it's actually Willow and Sophie, I believe.
Is it Sophie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Spike is starting to make some veiled threats to Richard about
and some not so veiled ones
about eating him. And finally Buffy has had enough, and so she's like, it's not a joke. We don't joke about eating people in this house. It's time for you to go. And he tries to
and she drags him past a mirror. Which you can full on see him in. That is our goof of the week.
Good heavens.
Our random trivia goof is you can full on see James Marsters in the mirror when she drags him into that hallway. And they have quite the little argument.
Mm-hmm. He calls her insane. And then there's like the flip over. We go into the kitchen where Tara and Willow are talking about that Willow's like, I have class, but I don't want to leave. And like, people got jobs, they get places to be, but nobody's trying to go anywhere. And then Spike is like, finally, it's daylight. I can't go anywhere. And they're like, Buffy and Spike are really going at it. And neither one of like, I'm going to leave. Like, I'll get the door. Like, why can't I move? And like,
yes.
And this is when it becomes a problem.
It's kind of funny because Buffy's just like, well, that can't be good. No, it can't.
No, it's
not. So they assemble everyone in the living room and figure out that something is keeping them in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow gets the bright idea of, what if we just rush the door all at once to see if we can get out? And they try on the count of 3 and no one moves.
Right, they can't go. And Dawn's starting to get a little slightly agitated now because... Really? Like, basically, like, they've been there for, like, 15 hours. Like, why? This isn't good enough for you? This isn't enough? And...
It's not your birthday.
Right.
Like, on one hand, oh, poor baby. Like, this baby just keeps getting shit on every week. But also, at the same time, it is not your birthday, little miss.
Yeah. And
it's not about you.
It has been a very decent amount of time that everyone has been hanging out. And so everyone, like, Dawn is starting to take this very personally and even goes so far as to be like, sure, because why would anybody want to stay here with me? We got jobs.
And Storm's off.
We got jobs, Dawn. People got things to do.
And here's the return of the Dawn I don't like.
Ugh. She gets in a
I thought
snit.
you had grown up a little more than this.
All right. She's in her snit, and this is the Dawn that I want to, like, just fight her in an alley. Like,
right?
It just gets that
punch through your face, little girl.
Right. She just gets that pissy look on her face.
If I were 14,
if I was your mama, a whooping. Just like, and just everything is just blah 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 blah, and everybody hates me, and nobody wants to hang out with me, and blue blue blue, and everyone's like, okay, did you have anything to do with this? Why are you asking me that? Because you're acting like you had something to do with this.
Right? And Willow actually goes so far as to say, you sure? And that's where my burn of the week comes in. And Dawn's like, you want me to ask my other self?
Bitch.
And Buffy just says, Dawn, we're just trying to figure out what's going on. And she says, figure it out yourselves. I'm done being talked to like a kid. And she kind of has a point. Like, I'm not a child. If you think I did, just stop pussyfooting around and just let's talk about this.
Right.
But get out of my room first. Stop attacking me. Like, they were all standing over her.
It seems like a lot because they all followed her into her room and just like are like kind of ganging up on her. I think that it just should have been Buffy in there talking to her.
Yeah. Because even Spike is in there. Like,
right.
And then, did they leave Richard, Sophie, and Clem downstairs by themselves?
Yeah. Well, because they had sense they're like, you know what? This isn't our business. I'm not.
It's like that episode when Tara and Anya were just like, let's go sit in Giles's bathroom. Right. This fight ain't got nothing to do with us.
Dawn does her famous get out.
At them. Yes. The return of the get out.
Dawn.
Xander, before she threw them out, Xander tries to diffuse the situation, saying like, invoking the spirit of a music demon when you didn't mean to. Right. Maybe you did something like that.
And she's like, no, I swear I didn't. And then she even goes, it's like, I'm glad you're all trapped because no one spends any time with me. And this is the only way I can get anybody to spend time with me. Last week, Buffy tried to hang out with you. I mean, I know Buffy's been a little absent a lot lately, but she tried. She tried last week and you wanted to go make tortillas. So let's just relax, okay?
But instead of going downstairs and kind of unpacking what Dawn just said, they're back to how do we get out of the house?
Magic. Tara's like, of course I didn't bring anything with me. And, I'm sure there's nothing in the house. And then Willow's like, actually, I may have some things hidden away somewhere.
Yeah. Feeling real guilty. Looking real like she wants to crawl in her own skin.
Right. And Tara's like, fine, give me what.
Tara's just like, bring me whatever you have.
Right. And she starts to make this mixture that looks like she's making falafel from scratch.
It really did. It really did.
So she tries.
And Willow has immediately started to itch. Did you notice that when they start, like, she's itching her arms and you can tell this is going to be, it's making her really uncomfortable.
Right. And Richard takes the time to start talking about how weird everything is. Not now, Richard. Not now.
Right? Not now, Richard. Go back to whatever room you and Sophie and Clem are
pretending not to be involved in. So, and Tara does a spell, says a simple release. And they try the door. It does not release them. But what it does release is the demon from the sword.
She done fucked up.
Uh-oh.
She done fucked up. And the demon stabs Richard.
Yeah. And Anya's skirt actually has a poodle on it. She's like wearing a poodle skirt.
My favorite part about Richard's freak out, I forgot to mention, was the fact that he looked at Clem and he was like, and that is not a skin condition.
Right. I mean,
I don't think that's a skin condition.
It's like, you are correct, Richard, but also rude.
Right. You might as well have bopped him on the nose. That's how close he was to you when you turned around and said it.
I'm right here.
I am a demon with feelings, damn it. So the demon is now doing his weird teleportation thing and jumping into the walls and disappearing. So they can't get a good find on him.
Right.
Which is causing Anya to freak the fuck out.
Anya's like, really? I don't understand why she's losing it during this situation.
She's getting hot.
She's got the.
She's starting to sweat.
She's all verklempt and things. Everything is a nightmare for her. Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! I feel so trapped and blah blah blah. She just keeps going on.
To be a real bitch.
Yeah, but I would like to take this opportunity to give Xander some props for finally kind of stepping up as a decent man and trying his best to comfort her and not making her feel less than, or like there's
Yeah.
something wrong with her for freaking out right now. I'm still questioning
Yeah.
why this vengeance demon is why this is the thing that like breaks her.
I don't understand. Like, yes, it's a scary situation, and you know, you did just see this. Maybe you shouldn't have invited some rando to her house. This is why you don't invite strangers to people's houses.
Right.
You got him stabbed or sliced or whatever.
Right.
What have you? That's on you.
Yeah, because
Now maybe that's why she was freaking out, because he was really hurt and they couldn't get him out of the house to get him to the doctor.
Maybe she's concerned about him, and yeah, like if this party had been at the Bronze, sure, invite a rando, but not to the Summers
Not
house.
to somebody's house.
No.
What if they steal all my prescription medication? You don't know.
So
What if they go looking through my drawers?
yeah, you don't know these people. You don't know them. So in an attempt to comfort Anya, Xander goes to get her some water, and when he does that, he's attacked by the demon and gets cut on his arm. Anya comes down, sees that, and starts to freak the fuck out even more. Like, oh God, Xander, no! But I'm confused, like, because weren't they in the bathroom?
Yeah, I thought so. There's a lot of weird editing happening.
Why'd you have to go downstairs?
It got dark really quickly, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And also got light even quicker.
Uh-huh. And there was a cute moment where Spike is like, Buffy, you ever think about not celebrating your birthday?
Valid question.
Valid. Mm-hmm. And, good side note, there's only one season left after this, but we do not celebrate Buffy's birthday in season 7.
Finally learns her lesson. This is what, the third birthday or the fourth that something terrible has happened?
I think, yep. And it's for the betterment of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That we just not celebrate your birthday.
So Buffy's going around checking on folks. She asks Dawn, are you okay? And then Dawn still in her feelings. Do you care? Oh, God. And Buffy's like, basically, me. She's like, fine. And walks away.
She should have made the same noise that you did.
Just like that's so Dawn not getting the attention that she was hoping, or not getting the reaction she wanted. Dawn follows her out of the room and is all like, I didn't want this. And Buffy is trying to get to the bottom of, what do you mean by that? And Dawn, they have this little heart-to-heart about Dawn feeling sad and lonely because Buffy has all these friends and things to do, and Dawn has no one. She doesn't have any friends. But I thought you had Janice, but okay, I guess you guys aren't tight anymore. Whatever.
And I guess maybe you should branch out a little more than cast a wider net.
Yeah, you actually go to school. Like, you have classmates. And there's like a whole school full of people that you could get to know.
Any of them. But we find out that she spoke to someone new.
What's that now? She's like, oh, they kind of have this little moment. She's like, oh, you sound like my guidance counselor. And Buffy, I'm not sure why this rings a bell. This raises a flag to Buffy, but she's like, guidance counselor? And Dawn's like, yeah, I didn't even know we had guidance counselors. And Buffy's like, and she got you to talk about things that you were sad about? She's like, yeah. And
ding, 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 ding. For some reason, this had Buffy put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. You didn't happen to make a wish, did you?
Sort of? Maybe. I don't know. No.
What?
Why?
What do you want me to answer? How do you want me to answer this?
Mom? I think I heard the phone.
So while Buffy's getting to the bottom of this, Anya is like starting to dig into Willow a little bit. She starts talking
too much.
She starts talking about how, shit is rough, but we have a very powerful witch here that's not doing anything. And
she's real rude about it.
Yeah.
That's not exactly true, is it?
Like, oh, Anya, this is not a good look on you.
And Tara's not having it.
No, she keeps going at her and saying, like, you could do something, and if you wanted to. And Willow's like, you know what? Hey, back. I'm recovering. I'm a recovering addict here. And Anya's like, well, this is your fault because you did too much to begin with, and blah blah blah. And I think even Spike is starting to he kind of looks defensive of Willow too.
Everyone is looking at Anya like, Bro.
But then
going a little hard.
But even Xander's like, not to gang up on you, but, just a little spell. We can bring you back. Xander.
Not now, Xander.
Not good. You are clearly not the guy to have around when...
One little bump of cocaine won't matter.
It's not a big deal.
We'll bring you back.
It's fine. We did it before. But finally, Tara steps in and back off. Which, go on, Tara.
Real forceful, too.
Yeah.
She has really grown over the course of this season. Even the way she speaks, the way she holds herself.
Mm-hmm.
She has really gotten more confident.
And I think
I like that she steps to Anya. I don't know if Anya was about to bitch slap Willow, but she was coming for her. She was getting right in her face.
She was. And I think that maybe this time away from Willow has done Tara some good, because it seems like she's since they've been apart, she's standing on her own a little bit more and a little bit better. So Anya,
and she tells Anya, you're gonna get to her, you got to come through me.
And Anya's second guesses herself, is you know what? Yes, this is still a powerful witch. Not as powerful as Willow, but she's still pretty up there. I do not want to tango with her. So I'm just going to go rummage through Dawn's room, because Dawn knows something.
You guys don't want to figure this out? I will do it myself.
Yeah. She's convinced Dawn knows something. Which she's not wrong. So she goes to Dawn's room and starts to ransack the joint.
And she busts in on that lovely little moment that they were having.
Right.
When she finally seemed like she knocked down, they both kind of knocked down a little bit of their walls, and they were connecting as sisters.
Right. And Anya finds a shit ton of stolen goods. Most of them from the magic box. And she takes it very personally.
As she should.
And she's like,
it's like stealing from family.
Right. She's like, I work hard at that store. I took care of you. How could you do this to me? This was not cool. And Buffy's trying to be like, oh my God, this has to be a mistake. And then she sees the jacket and the security tag, and remembers her 15-year-old sister doesn't have any money. How could she get her a leather jacket for her birthday? So now we've got another little crisis happening in the middle of all this. Now we find out Dawn's a klepto. And Buffy's like, okay, hey, that sucks. We'll deal with that later. But listen, Dawn had a run-in with this guidance counselor, made her make a wish. And then Anya's like, well, fuck.
She's so mad. You made a wish.
To someone you didn't know. She's like, Halfrick.
She immediately calls Halfrick.
Yes.
Right away. Who immediately gets stabbed.
By the demon, because he just picks that moment to come out. And chaos ensues, and there's all sorts... there's all sorts of fighting. He's disappearing. Everybody's going at it, blah, blah, blah. Buffy's finally like, get the sword, get the sword. The demon goes back into the sword, or Buffy gets him in the sword. Or no, he gets in the wall. She stabs the wall, manages to get him into the sword from the wall, and breaks the sword. Dunzo. Guy's dead. But oh my God.
Why is he here?
Right. Hallie might be dead. Hallie's dead, so Anya's like, get her pendant, grab it. But Hallie's not dead.
No. And she's a little offended that they thought it would be that easy, too.
Right. It's like, come on now. Anyanka, you should know better.
You really should know better. Maybe because it was that easy to get your shit.
Right.
You let Giles get that in that alternate dimension pretty easy.
It's like, girl, no. It's like, you out here, you got me fucked up if you think it's going to be all like that. And so they start to go back and forth, and she's like, I told you I had some business to take care of while I was in town. And the moment happens where Spike enters the room. Hallie looks at him and she's like, William? And he's like, hey.
Wait a minute.
And Buffy's like, you two know each other? And then they're both like, no, nope. Not at all. And that's all we get about the fact that, you know, she's Cecily, or she was Cecily. And like, why? Why would you just give us that? Like, why? I mean, I don't need like a full episode about it, but, you know, a full conversation between the two characters would have been cool. That would have been nice to just go ahead and like, we all know.
He's like, huh?
Right.
And he probably laughed it off like, nah.
Right.
But he should have been able to smell. Well, I guess he wasn't a vampire at the time, so.
But I think he was also probably embarrassed because she knew him as William.
That's
right.
Although you think she'd be like,
you glowed up.
Yeah, it's like, well, sir.
I am sorry. I would like to apologize for all the wrong ways I treated you.
And I don't know why, if I've never thought about this before or if I've just forgotten, but she knew him when he was human and he had sandy blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like almost brown, kind of muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Does he peroxide his hair?
That's right.
As a vampire?
He has to.
Every week?
But
his hair is dead.
Right. So, yeah. But I don't know. Like, is that really a true statement? Because when you're dead, like a human corpse, the hair still
grows.
Hair and nail keeps growing.
So he has to get haircuts and dye his hair as a vampire like every week?
Probably.
So when he was worrying about money for blood and smokes, he wasn't considering hair care or not, or does he just?
I mean, it was probably easier to steal peroxide than it was to steal smokes and blood, because, you know, both those things are pretty locked up.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never thought about that before.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. That's never crossed my mind. So, yeah, you know, they're like, oh my God, she's a vengeance demon. And Tara brings up, is like, well, I thought vengeance demons, their whole gig was like to wrong men who had wronged women. And I do like this part where Hallie's like, first of all, we prefer justice demon, FYI.
And secondly, that was just Anyanka's thing.
Right. It's like some of us are a little more well-rounded.
Yeah, but you could just go after children that have been hurt. So you got your little niche too.
Right. She's like, so that explains like bad parents. She's like, the children need me. And Anya's like, daddy issues. And so Alfred's like, you know what? Whatever. That's cool. But that doesn't change the fact that this girl, she was in pain. I could hear her. Nobody else is paying attention. It's all over this town. Like her tears and her crying out to be all lonely. And it was just unbearable. I couldn't take it. And none of y'all bitches wanted to do anything about it. So you get what you deserve, to be cursed. Enjoy your time together. And she tries to poof out.
All grandiose.
And it's a great like stance. And
it's so good.
And nothing happens. She's like, time together. Okay. And tries again.
Same result.
Nothing happens.
So Anya has to tell her, Hallie, it's the curse. God damn it. Fine. You're uncursed. Everybody can leave. I hope you're happy. I think, does she even mumble like, damn it?
Yeah, I think so. Just like, we can all leave now. Yeah. Damn it. And she snaps out.
Which everyone is super excited to do. They've never seen the stars look so beautiful. They're out of there.
Xander wants to walk, like to feel the dew on his toes. But there's a moment where Tara is gathering up all the last remnants of magical weeds and whatnot around, and Willow's trying to justify why she had everything. You know, well, I wasn't really going to use it. I just kind of kept it as a net, yada, 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 in case things got really bad. And Tara's like, you know what? I get it, whatever. But guess what? Things got really bad, and you did great. So good on you. You're doing the work. You're making the steps. I am proud of you. Which, cute.
I'm seeing a thaw happen. I'm feeling a thaw.
Things are getting a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Maybe you guys can go get some coffee one day.
Right?
You know, and Tara gives her the gentle eyes, because Tara does have that certain that one
really
look
does.
that's like reserved for Willow, like the gentle eyes.
But then that's the face that I'm just like, oh no, go back to being confident, awesome Tara. I hate that. Oh, Willow, I am yours. That face.
Yeah,
I hate it.
yeah. Yours, you know. So everybody leaves, and they get poor Richard to an ER, I'm assuming, hopefully.
Which I guess it wasn't that bad because he's just kind of,
It's been all day. Like, I guess he didn't bleed out. Somebody managed to stop. Like, I would have thought he would have bled out.
right? The way they were reacting. But I guess the only person who was seriously stabbed was Hallie.
But it was a big sword. Like, you would think it would have.
But again,
and
why
got
was
him in
that
the
demon
chest.
just like jumping out of the walls going, ha ha, gotcha. Now I'm back in the wall.
Why wasn't
And then he was gone for a really long time.
Like, well, why wasn't he trying to leave? Like, why?
Maybe he did, and that's why he kept coming out. Ha ha! I can't get out of your house. Maybe if I kill you all, I'll be able to get out.
Why can't I get out of this house? This isn't how I saw this going at all.
I want to leave. And as they're all leaving, Clem decides to tell her how much fun he had. He had a really good time.
Great party.
He's so cute.
And then everybody's leaving, and Dawn and Buffy are standing in the doorway, and Dawn's looking at Buffy, expecting her to leave, and then Buffy doesn't. She closes the door, and then Dawn gets a little smile on her face, like, I've got my sister back.
Yeah, but did you see her face as she closed the door? It's not like she was smiling at Dawn, like, I will stay here with you. It was more like, I will stay here. We got to talk about the shit you Don't be smiling at me. This is far from over.
Exactly. It's like you out here embarrassing me out in these streets of it, like thinking I'm raising a kleptomaniac. What is this?
And can I just point out that Buffy's friends threw her a party. Buffy didn't have a party. Her friends threw her a party and stuck her with all the damn cleanup.
This is true.
That house is messed up.
That house is trashed after people been there for basically 24 hours.
Yeah, the demon fight.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Happy birthday to me.
It's like, we're out. Fuck you. Your penance is you must clean your own house because we almost all died.
Right. Because, why did Willow have to leave?
You live here. Where are you going? I think maybe Tara asked her if she wanted to get breakfast or something.
Oh, gotcha.
I think they may have been going to get food. But yeah, why? I guess you could have just cooked breakfast there.
Right.
But
hey, there's a whole lot of food still here. There's like all this leftover birthday cake and strewn about Cheetos.
And the largest sack of tortilla chips I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
But that's it. Dawn's got her sister for one episode. I think literally one.
For one episode. Song of the week.
What did we have? We only had one body this week. We had the unnamed demon. That's how little we care about this demon in this episode. We don't even get to find out what kind of demon it was.
That's rude.
Why it was there. Was it just running amok? General chaos? We don't know. We don't care.
You know, apparently he means nothing.
No, means nothing. So that's the only body. The song of the week was, I picked Rilo Kiley's Picture of Success. It's one of the very bland songs that they played at Buffy's party.
Oh,
She had the worst music at this party.
Oh
I mean, it's not it's a bland song, sort of.
It's
but
not
it's
a party song.
It's not a party song.
No.
It's a In My Feelings on My Couch with Some Chocolate song. I got my period, I don't want to go anywhere kind of song. And that's how a lot of the songs this week were, so I picked the lesser of many evils. It does pass the Bechdel test because it's about this poor baby and her unbearable loneliness.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Which, I mean, again, like this is more some family therapy would really benefit the lives of the Summers women right now.
Yeah, it really would. I'm surprised that she didn't have to do grief counseling after her mom died.
Right.
But, it has been a while, so maybe she did, but it doesn't seem like it.
No, not at all. Moral.
And I did not come up with a moral for this story because they all suck.
Well, I think it's all just kind of like You know, if you miss someone, you should tell them.
I like it. Speak up.
Yeah.
I like it.
So tell us what you think of Dead Things, and you can do that by
Older and Far Away.
Oh yeah, damn it. So you can tell us what you thought of Older and Far Away, and you know, should Buffy have stopped celebrating her birthday a long time ago? You can do that by recording an MP3 file less than 2 minutes and email it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. We'll more than likely play it on the air next week. As you were. O'Reilly comes back.
O'Reilly.
Visit from the X. Nobody likes that.
No, that is not, you gotta call ahead.
Right.
You don't just show up
at my bumfuck job, at my piss poor.
Where I can't react.
Right.
Unless you're Summers. And you just bail.
Right.
Which we'll talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So subscribe, follow, like us, all the things. You can follow me, Camila, on Twitter at @the_rugged_angel.
Or me, Marcel, at mscare7338.
Thank you all for hanging in there with us and hanging out for another episode. We will talk to you next time.